If you are hearing this now, it is no accident. The divine has timed this moment. A hidden orchestration has led you here. A sacred arrangement of whispers, delays, and divine nudges that guided your soul to this very point. You did not stumble upon these words by chance. You were brought to them. For many seasons, you may have prayed, wondered, and questioned. You may have asked silently, when will my breakthrough come? When will the doors of wealth open for me? When will I be free? And though it seemed the heavens were silent, they were never absent. What you mistook as delay was divine timing aligning unseen pieces in the background of your life. This prayer you are about to receive is not ordinary. It is not a ritual of empty words. It is a sacred key, forged in the fire of truth, designed to unlock what has always belonged to you. For 2 days, just 2 days, you will speak it. And in those 2 days you will enter into alignment with spiritual law. And when alignment comes, doors respond, invisible gates swing open, pathways appear where walls once stood. Florence Scovel Shinn, one of the clearest voices of metaphysical truth, revealed again and again that the spoken word is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Words are not sounds in the air. They are commands written into the structure of the universe. They are seeds carrying the design of harvests yet to come. And when you speak with faith, your words become divine messengers, carrying your decree to the infinite supply. But here is the struggle that many live with. The doors of wealth feel blocked. Cycles of lack repeat like unending seasons. You may rise with hope only to be struck down by another bill, another closed opportunity, another voice in your head whispering, it will never change. This struggle has made countless souls weary, and yet, the truth is unshaken. Wealth has never been withheld from you. It has only awaited the right alignment, the right vibration, the right key. Think of it this way. Imagine a vast palace filled with treasure, every room overflowing with abundance. The palace belongs to you, but you stand outside, peering through locked gates. The key has never been missing. It has always been within your reach. But until you recognize it and place it into the lock, the gates remain closed. This prayer is that key. In the next 2 days, as you speak it with faith, you are not begging for wealth. You are not pleading for scraps. You are claiming your inheritance. You are aligning with the law of divine supply, a law as certain as gravity, a law that responds not to fear or desperation but to confident command. For Florence taught, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us with astonishing accuracy. When you speak words of lack, lack answers. But when you speak words of divine wealth, wealth responds. And now hear this. The reason you are here in this moment is because something within you has grown tired of lack's voice. Something within you has refused to settle. The divine has heard your resistance to despair and has chosen this hour to hand you the key. You are being invited into a sacred shift, from limitation into alignment, from delay into divine timing, from blocked doors into open gates. For just 2 days, you will walk in this prayer. And as you do, let every word settle not only in your mind but in your soul. See yourself speaking into the silent gate of destiny. See the lock turn, hear the hinges move, and watch the doors swing open before you. Close your eyes, even now, and imagine it. The invisible gates rising like great golden doors, the sound of wealth flowing like rivers beyond them, the feel of peace washing over you as you step inside. This is not imagination. This is alignment. For what you can see inwardly, you will hold outwardly. Do not fear if your past has been filled with struggle. Do not fear if your present feels tight and uncertain. 2 days may feel impossibly short for a miracle, but divine timing does not measure itself by calendars. The shift of a moment can rearrange years of limitation. The key that turns in an instant can open doors that were closed for decades. This is why you are here. To remember that the wealth of God has never left you. To be reminded that your tongue holds the power of life and death, poverty and prosperity, bondage and freedom. To be given the sacred prayer that turns the key in the lock. So prepare your spirit. Quiet the noise of doubt. Lay aside the heavy cloak of fear. For the next 2 days, you are stepping into a covenant of words that will awaken gates of wealth, long waiting for your arrival. You are stepping into the flow of divine supply. You are stepping into alignment with the law. The call has been sounded. The prayer is waiting. The gates are ready to open. And now your soul is ready to receive the hidden law of wealth doors. There is a law so subtle, yet so powerful, that it decides whether the doors of wealth before you swing open with ease or remain stubbornly closed. It is not a law taught in schools. It is not explained in the markets. It is whispered only to those who are ready to hear. Today, you are hearing it. This is the law of non-resistance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life moves in divine rhythms, and those rhythms cannot be forced. Wealth, like a river, flows in perfect harmony the moment you fight it. The moment you struggle against its current, you lose its blessing. Yet, when you align with its movement, you are carried without effort. Many live as though wealth is a door that must be broken into. They pound against it with fear. They push with desperation. They chase money as though it is running away from them. But here is the sacred truth. Wealth does not run from you. It waits for you. The door of supply has never been locked. It simply opens not to force, but to faith. Picture a golden garden gate. On the other side, abundance blossoms. Rivers of provision run clear and full. A table is set with every need already prepared. Those who come in fear rattle the gate, bruising their hands as they try to break through. But the gate does not move. Yet one who arrives with quiet certainty, holding the key of faith, touches the lock lightly, and the gate swings wide as if it had been waiting for them all along. This is how the universe responds to you. When you declare lack, when your words drip with worry, you are slamming the gate upon yourself. But when you speak in alignment with divine truth, your word becomes the key. Florence called it simply, your word is your wand. What you speak either imprisons or liberates you. Think of it this way, every thought you rehearse, every word you utter, is a command sent into the unseen. Say, money is hard, life is a struggle, nothing ever works for me, and you will stand before closed doors, wondering why nothing moves. Say instead, I am one with divine supply. Every door appointed for me opens now, and watch how walls dissolve into pathways, how blockages turn into bridges, how what once resisted, now welcomes you. This is the mystery most overlooked. They think wealth comes through effort alone. They think force is power, but the highest power is alignment. The law of non-resistance teaches that you cannot beat life into submission. You must harmonize with it. You must become like the water that bends around stone, yet moves with unstoppable strength. Imagine the river. It does not argue with the rock. It does not complain that the mountain stands in its way. It flows around, over, through, until even the hardest surface yields. This is how divine wealth moves, not through struggle, but through inevitability. And when you align with this inevitability, doors open not as a favor, but as a certainty. Pause for a moment and notice your own heart. How many battles have you been fighting inside yourself? How often have you declared, I can't take this anymore, I need money now, why is it not working? These words are not keys, they are chains. The law does not punish you for them, it simply reflects them. But now, in this moment, you are being given the master key. The key is your word aligned with faith. Speak in the language of certainty, and certainty will meet you. Speak in the tone of fear, and fear will lock the door tighter. Try this now. Whisper it as though the universe itself leans in to hear you. I walk in perfect faith. Every door meant for me opens with ease. Feel the shift within as those words take root. The tension loosens, the striving melts, your spirit rises into alignment. You no longer chase, you magnetize. Florence would remind her students again and again, you cannot force the tide, you can only move with it. So it is with wealth. Do not force, align. Speak the word that harmonizes with the divine orchestra of supply. Trust that the doors appointed for you cannot be missed, cannot be stolen, cannot remain shut when you arrive in faith. Picture yourself standing before one of these golden doors now. See its brilliance. Notice how it radiates a quiet power. You do not push, you do not knock in desperation. You simply hold the key. The key is your word. Speak. This door opens for me now. And it does, effortlessly, as if it had been waiting all along. This is the hidden law of wealth doors. It is not about chance, it is not about luck, it is about resonance. When your inner song matches the frequency of abundance, the universe must respond. Doors cannot resist the soul in harmony with divine law, so release resistance now. Release the idea that wealth is far away. Release the thought that you must battle for every blessing. These are illusions born of fear. Wealth is near, wealth is natural. Wealth is inevitable when you are aligned with the flow. Remember this truth as you walk forward. The universe is not against you, it is for you. It is waiting for you to speak, as one who already belongs, as one who already knows. Your word is your wand. What you speak either imprisons or liberates you. Think of it this way. Every thought you rehearse, every word you utter, is a command sent into the unseen. Say, money is hard, life is a struggle, nothing ever works for me, and you will stand before closed doors, wondering why nothing moves. Say instead, I am one with divine supply. Every door appointed for me opens now, and watch how walls dissolve into pathways, how blockages turn into bridges, how what once resisted, now welcomes you. This is the mystery most overlooked. They think wealth comes through effort alone. They think force is power, but the highest power is alignment. The law of non-resistance teaches that you cannot beat life into submission. You must harmonize with it. You must become like the water that bends around stone, yet moves with unstoppable strength. Imagine the river. It does not argue with the rock. It does not complain that the mountain stands in its way. It flows around, over, through, until even the hardest surface yields. This is how divine wealth moves, not through struggle, but through inevitability. And when you align with this inevitability, doors open not as a favor but as a certainty. Pause for a moment and notice your own heart. How many battles have you been fighting inside yourself? How often have you declared, I can't take this anymore, I need money now, why is it not working? These words are not keys, they are chains. The law does not punish you for them, it simply reflects them. But now, in this moment, you are being given the master key. The key is your word, aligned with faith. Speak in the language of certainty, and certainty will meet you. Speak in the tone of fear, and fear will lock the door tighter. Try this now. Whisper it as though the universe itself leans in to hear you. I walk in perfect faith. Every door meant for me opens with ease. Feel the shift within as those words take root. The tension loosens, the striving melts. Your spirit rises into alignment. You no longer chase, you magnetize. Florence would remind her students again and again, you cannot force the tide. You can only move with it. So it is with wealth. Do not force, align. Speak the word that harmonizes with the divine orchestra of supply. Trust that the doors appointed for you cannot be missed, cannot be stolen, cannot remain shut when you arrive in faith. Picture yourself standing before one of these golden doors. Now, see its brilliance. Notice how it radiates a quiet power. You do not push, you do not knock in desperation. You simply hold the key. The key is your word. Speak. This door opens for me now, and it does, effortlessly, as if it had been waiting all along. This is the hidden law of wealth doors. It is not about chance. It is not about luck. It is about resonance. When your inner song matches the frequency of abundance, the universe must respond. Doors cannot resist a soul in harmony with divine law. So release resistance now. Release the idea that wealth is far away. Release the thought that you must battle for every blessing. These are illusions born of fear. Wealth is near. Wealth is natural. Wealth is inevitable when you are aligned with the flow. Remember this truth as you walk forward. The universe is not against you. It is for you. It is waiting for you to speak as one who already belongs, as one who already knows. Your word is your wand. Use it to unlock, not to bind. And as you hold this truth, let it guide your steps to the next revelation. For what is coming is not only the knowledge that doors open, it is the realization of the prayer that moves them, the sacred words that turn keys in invisible locks. You are ready. The law has been unveiled. The gate is before you. Now we walk together into the next mystery, where prayer itself becomes the force that makes wealth undeniable. The struggle of lack and the turning point of faith. You know the weight of lack. It is not just numbers on a bank screen, not just unpaid bills stacked on a table. It is a heaviness that settles in the chest, a quiet ache in the soul that whispers, maybe I am forgotten, maybe I am not enough. You have tried. You've pushed harder than most. You've worked longer hours, stretched yourself thin, done what was asked, and more, and yet the doors stayed closed, the promises delayed, the breakthrough withheld. There is a fatigue that comes with this cycle, isn't there? The fatigue of striving and still feeling stuck, the exhaustion of wondering why others seem to flow into abundance while you wrestle with shadows of insufficiency. It feels unfair, it feels lonely, and if you are honest, sometimes it feels hopeless. Scarcity is not just the absence of money, it is the echo of not enough playing through your mind like a broken song. It is the hidden voice that says, you are overlooked, you are forgotten, you are on your own. But hear this truth. Lack is not a substance. It is not a reality fixed in stone. Lack is a shadow, and a shadow has no power when light enters the room. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed the spiritual law that destroys the illusion of lack, the law of substitution. She taught that you cannot banish fear by wrestling with it, nor dissolve poverty by hating it. You must substitute, you must replace. When a fear thought rises, you speak a divine truth in its place. When the shadow of not enough tries to cling to your mind, you flood it with the light of God is my unfailing supply. Imagine standing before a wall where shifting shadows make it look as if bars of a prison are holding you in. You can press your hands against those shadows all day, but you will never break free. Why? Because they are not real bars. They only appear real in the absence of light. Once you turn on the light, the bars vanish. This is the mystery of lack. It has no substance of its own. It survives only when you believe in it. Think of how many years you may have pressed against those shadows, pushing harder, begging louder, trying to break through what never truly existed. This is why the struggle feels endless, because the battle is not against a wall, but against a thought, and thoughts yield not to force, but to substitution. Let me speak directly to you now. You have prayed, you have pleaded, and you have wondered if heaven even heard. But the turning point is nearer than you think. The shift begins not when the bank balance changes, not when the opportunity arrives, but when you release the grip of fear. The moment you say, I will no longer live as a beggar before shadows. I will live as a child of God, already supplied. That is the moment the atmosphere around you begins to shift. This is the paradox of faith. The door that stayed shut while you pushed begins to open the moment you surrender, not surrender to defeat, but surrender to divine order. The struggle ends not because you gave up, but because you chose to lean into the higher law. Feel this with me now. Place your hand gently on your heart, breathe deeply, as if you are inhaling the very breath of spirit, and speak these words aloud. I release fear, I choose faith, I align with divine supply. Do not say it as a whisper of doubt, say it as if the heavens are leaning in to hear you. Say it as if your words are chiseling through the stone walls of impossibility. Say it until the cells of your body vibrate with truth. Your inner dialogue is the gatekeeper of your reality. If your thoughts remain chained to fear, the outer world mirrors it back to you as delay, struggle, and lack. But if your words carry faith, even when your senses see no evidence, the doors that once mocked you will begin to unlock with ease. It is here, in this sacred moment of surrender, that the true turning point emerges. You are not defined by what has been withheld. You are not imprisoned by your past attempts. You are not sentenced to a lifetime of not enough. Those were shadows, and shadows disappear in the light of your spoken word. Close your eyes for a moment, and see yourself standing in front of a great golden door. For years, you have pushed against it, pounded upon it, begged it to move, and yet it never opened. Now see yourself stepping back, see yourself unclenching your fists, feel yourself breathing deeply, resting into faith, and in that silence, notice the door begin to move, not because you forced it, but because you surrendered to the key of prayer. This is what Florence meant when she said, your word is your wand. It is not your effort that breaks the lock. It is your word spoken in faith that aligns you with the rhythm of divine abundance. So I invite you again, hand on heart, whisper and declare with power, I release fear. I release faith. I align with divine supply. Let these words become your shield against every illusion of lack. When the shadow of insufficiency tries to creep in, substitute it at once. Replace I can't with I can through the infinite. Replace it's impossible with all things are possible now. Replace I am forgotten with I am divinely remembered and supplied. This is not wishful thinking. This is alignment with divine law. When you shift your inner dialogue, your outer world must reflect it. The prison doors you feared were locked will reveal themselves as open passages. The silence of delay will transform into the symphony of divine timing. You have carried the burden of lack long enough. Now is the turning point. You are not waiting for the world to change before you believe. You are choosing to believe, and the world will rearrange itself to match your faith. Feel the release, feel the weight lifting. The struggle has been long, but the struggle was never the truth of you. The truth is this: you are supplied, you are guided, you are remembered by the divine. The shadows are fading now. The light is breaking through, and as you take this breath, as you speak these words, you are stepping into the great reversal, the end of lack, and the dawning of divine plenty. Breakthroughs have come when someone shifted from pleading to declaring. A woman once whispered in her fear, "Please let me be healed," and nothing moved. But when she rose one morning, fire in her spirit, and declared, I am whole now. By divine law, her body began to align with the command. A man once begged endlessly, "God, send me supply," and the heavens were silent. But when he finally spoke, "Wealth is mine by divine right, and I command it into expression," the channels opened, contracts came, opportunities appeared, doors that had long been sealed moved on their hinges. This is the law. Begging creates distance. Commanding collapses the gap. Now, take a moment to examine your own inner dialogue. What are the words you release when lack thoughts creep in? Do you shrink and whisper, "Maybe someday, maybe if I'm lucky"? Or will you begin to reframe, in power? Wealth is mine by divine right, and I command it into expression. Say it now. Speak it with authority. Not from the lips of fear, but from the fire of certainty. Again, wealth is mine by divine right, and I command it into expression. Feel what happens inside you. A shift, a lifting. The trembling stops. The begging voice fades. Something stronger takes its place. That is your soul reclaiming its throne. Visualization is a powerful ally in this shift. Each morning, see yourself not as an outsider, but as an heir. See yourself walking through that golden door, shoulders straight, eyes lifted, no hesitation, no timid knock. You are not hoping for entrance, you are taking your rightful seat at the table of abundance. And as you walk in, see the radiant light of supply surrounding you, gold spilling like sunlight, opportunities shimmering like jewels. Every resource already prepared. This is the truth that begging blinds you from, but commanding makes visible. Your words are the key. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her students that the subconscious mind does not respond to pleading. It responds to direction. It waits for your command, just as a servant waits for the master's instruction. And when you speak with authority, the subconscious goes to work, summoning circumstances, aligning people, moving unseen forces to obey your decree. So let your new inner dialogue be sacred and steady. When fear rises, command peace. When lack whispers, command wealth. When delay threatens, command divine timing. Your tongue is the rudder of your destiny. With it, you turn your ship toward prosperity, or drift endlessly on the tides of want. Here is a prayer, not of pleading, but of power. Speak it aloud with faith. I am not a beggar. I am an heir. Wealth belongs to me by divine inheritance. Every divine door swings wide for me now. My words are commands, and spirit obeys. I walk through the golden gate of supply with confidence, gratitude, and joy. It is done. Do you feel the shift? That stirring in your chest is not imagination. It is the awakening of authority. It is the remembrance that you were never meant to crawl for crumbs when the banquet has been set before you. The law of non-resistance reminds us not to struggle against appearances. You do not need to battle lack. You need only to command abundance. Resistance keeps you in begging. Surrender and declaration open the flow. When you stand in this posture, you move with the rhythm of divine timing, and everything you need begins to appear without force. Let this truth sink deeply. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you, waiting for your word, waiting for your authority, waiting for you to stop begging for scraps and start declaring your rightful inheritance. As you step into this new way of prayer, understand that it is not about volume or force, but about certainty. A whisper of command carries more power than 1,000 cries of fear. When you say, "It is mine by divine right," you align your heart with the eternal law that cannot fail. And so the shift continues, from pleading to proclaiming, from hope to faith, from asking to receiving. The journey is not about convincing God, it is about convincing yourself of who you already are. Carry this affirmation into your mornings and nights. Let it shape the rhythm of your thoughts, and with every declaration, know that the golden door swings wider, your path brightens, your supply flows freer, because once the inner shift is made, the outer must follow. It is law, and from here, we step even deeper. For once you learn to command with authority, you will discover the true rhythm of wealth, unfolding where spoken word and silent faith unite in harmony. The proof of alignment. Signs doors are opening when you step into divine alignment. The universe begins whispering back to you. It does not always roar at first. It comes as a quiet shift, a subtle stirring, a confirmation that heaven has heard your command. Many miss these gentle signs because they expect fireworks, but spirit often begins with a candle flame, not a bonfire. You may notice a small check in the mail, unexpected but perfectly timed. You may receive a discount at the store, a meal paid for by a stranger, or a debt released. These are not coincidences, they are proof. They are the crux of light slipping out from beneath the door that is about to swing wide. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that when you are aligned with the divine, even the smallest events carry the fragrance of destiny. You may feel peace in situations that once filled you with fear. You may find yourself smiling without reason, sensing a quiet joy that nothing external can explain. This is alignment. This is God saying, the prayer has been heard. The law is already at work. The law of divine timing reminds us, the moment you spoke your word, the command was set in motion. The seed was planted in the soil of spirit. A tree does not sprout to its full height in an instant, yet its life has already begun the moment it breaks the earth. So it is with your wealth. Do not curse the soil by demanding to see the fruit immediately. The fruit is inevitable if the root is planted in faith. Imagine yourself standing before a golden door. At first, you only see the faint glow of light beneath it. Many people walk away at this stage, thinking nothing is happening. But those who wait in faith, who celebrate even the cracks of light, are the ones who live to see the door swing wide and reveal the treasure within. The glow is the promise. The door is already unlocking. Do not despise small beginnings. Celebrate them. When you find a forgotten bill in your pocket, say aloud, this is proof my abundance is unfolding. When you receive unexpected kindness, affirm, I am aligned with the flow of wealth. Every small sign is a messenger sent ahead of the great flood of prosperity that is already on its way to you. The ego wants to rush. The ego says, if it hasn't appeared in full, it's not working. But your spirit knows better. Your spirit knows that alignment is not measured by millions in the bank, but by the certainty in your heart. The moment fear loosens its grip and peace takes its seat, the miracle has already begun. So, watch for these signs. You will know alignment is working when a door closes and instead of despair, you feel relief, knowing a greater one is opening. A bill arrives, and instead of panic, you say, this too will be paid in full by divine supply. A thought of lack comes, but you replace it immediately with the truth. Every day I am guided to wealth. Every moment reveals proof of my alignment. This affirmation is not empty poetry. It is a key. Speak it often, not as a beggar hoping to be heard, but as a sovereign declaring what is already true. Let it echo through your consciousness until it becomes the rhythm of your life. Take a moment now, breathe deeply, place your hand over your heart. Say it with me. Every day I am guided to wealth. Every moment reveals proof of my alignment. Feel how these words shift your atmosphere. Feel how they summon calm, clarity, and confidence. That is alignment in motion. And here is a tool I give you for the next 2 days. Keep a journal. Write down every small sign of abundance you notice. Did someone give you a compliment that lifted your spirit? Did you save money unexpectedly? Did an opportunity arise out of nowhere? Write it down, because the act of noticing multiplies the blessing. Attention is spiritual fertilizer. What you water with your awareness grows. Do not compare your signs to others. Your journey is orchestrated by the divine conductor of your life. A small note of abundance today is part of the grand symphony of wealth that is building. Trust the tempo. Trust the pauses. Trust the crescendo that is coming. You may feel tempted to dismiss these proofs as too small, but let me remind you, every river begins as a trickle. Every sunrise begins with the faintest light on the horizon. Every miracle begins with a whisper before it becomes a shout. To ignore the small proofs is to dishonor the great blessing that is preparing itself for you. So I tell you, celebrate every crack of light. Clap your hands at every sign. Smile at every divine wink from the universe. For each proof is not the end. It is the announcement. It is the prelude to the symphony of abundance about to play through your life. Your alignment is real. The law has already gone out before you, and even if your physical eyes do not yet see the full manifestation, your spiritual eyes can recognize the proof all around you. The signs are speaking, the doors are shifting, and wealth is already moving in your direction. Stay awake to it, stay faithful to it, and prepare your heart, for the glow beneath the door will soon become the full blaze of divine provision flooding into every corner of your life, the sacred closing, declaring the open door. You have walked the path. You have felt the shift. From the shadows of lack you rose into the light of faith. From the silence of unanswered prayers, you stepped into the certainty of divine response. Every word you spoke was not wasted breath, but a seed carried by the eternal winds of spirit. And now, here you stand, not before a locked door, not waiting in the cold, but at the threshold of wealth itself. This is the sacred moment where your declaration becomes law. What was once an inner whisper now takes its place in the divine orchestra of creation. Every instrument of the universe tunes itself to your command. Every note resounds with one truth: the door is open. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Pause and breathe that in. Feel the shift in your chest. This is not imagination alone, this is alignment. The proof is not only in the signs you have begun to see: the unexpected blessing, the peace that has replaced worry, the opportunities that seemed to come from nowhere. It is in the power that now courses through you as you stand in agreement with divine law. Hear this truth: wealth is not something you chase. It is not a prize you earn by desperate striving. Wealth is the natural rhythm of a soul in harmony with God's abundance. And by your prayers, your affirmations, your surrender, you have stepped into that rhythm. So now, declare with me: by divine law, my wealth doors are open now and forever. Speak it slowly, speak it boldly. Feel the vibration of those words in your body. The power of the tongue is the power of destiny. What you speak today echoes into eternity. The journey of these 2 days was never meant to be an ending. It is a beginning. The prayer you carried is not a ritual that expires with time. It is the seed planted deep in the garden of your subconscious. Faith is the water, gratitude is the sunlight. Daily declaration is the soil that keeps it rooted. The more you tend to it, the more it grows, not just into small blessings but into a forest of lasting wealth. Imagine this with me now. See before you the radiant gate. It is no longer closed. It stands wide open, glowing like molten gold. Beyond it, a garden overflows with streams of silver, trees heavy with fruit, and flowers that never fade. This is not fantasy. This is the symbol of what already exists for you in the unseen. And as you step forward, you realize something powerful. You are no longer waiting outside. You are inside. You are walking in the garden of abundance. You are in the house of wealth, and it is yours by divine right. Let gratitude wash over you. Every past fear, every lingering doubt, every thought of unworthiness dissolves here. The house of wealth has no locks, no guards, no gatekeepers. It is your inheritance. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And this kingdom contains riches beyond measure, peace that silences anxiety, provision that outlasts need, joy that no circumstance can steal. Now affirm once more, by divine law, my wealth doors are open now and forever. Say it until it feels like it belongs to you, until it moves from words on your tongue to truth in your bones. This is your triumph. This is your victory. You are not standing in the waiting line of life. You are seated at the banquet table, and every plate is overflowing. But remember this: do not stop here. This prayer is not a one-time key that works only once. It is the eternal code of abundance. Speak it daily. Let it become the anthem of your mornings and the lullaby of your nights. Every declaration builds momentum. Every word strengthens the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When fear tries to creep back in, speak it. When doubt whispers its lies, speak it. When luck tries to dress itself as your reality, speak it. And the echo of your declaration will scatter every shadow. Here is your sacred closing prayer. Divine Spirit, I thank you that the door of wealth is no longer hidden nor locked. I stand within the flow of your endless provision. I walk in the garden of divine abundance. I live in the house of wealth, secure in the truth that it is mine by right of birth and by decree of law. Let every step I take be guided by faith, every word I speak be filled with power, and every day of my life reveal more of the riches you've prepared for me. Amen. Now, I charge you with this: do not keep this truth sealed in silence. Share it. Let your testimony become a beacon for others. Each time you speak of an opened door, you strengthen the vibration for your own life and awaken it in the lives of those still waiting. The sacred challenge is this: practice daily. Declare it aloud for the next 12 days and beyond. Write the signs you notice. Celebrate even the smallest openings, for each one is proof that the great flood of wealth is on its way. Then return and bear witness. Tell your story of the doors that opened, the fears that dissolved, the blessings that multiplied, because you are no longer the one knocking at the door. You are no longer hoping for a miracle. You are living in it. The house of wealth is not ahead of you. It surrounds you now. Every wall sings with abundance. Every room glows with peace. Every window opens to opportunity. And the key was never outside of you. It was always your word, your faith, your surrender. Say it again one final time with all the power in your spirit. By divine law, my wealth doors are open now and forever. Carry this declaration, walk with it, live by it, and let it mark the end of lack in your life and the beginning of divine plenty. You are not standing before the door, you are inside the house of wealth, and it is yours now, tomorrow, and forevermore.